Well, hello. It's us, the old dog, the budgie, and the newer dog, with yet more utter garbage, thinly veiled as some form of entertainment. I really don't know how I get away with it, really. And if anyone does ever ask, then I'll just say the budgie made me do it. Anyway, I'm going to start this video off with a warning, and that is in common with most weeks actually. What I'm about to talk about for the next few minutes is guaranteed to be complete and utter gibberish. Really, if you really want to know anything about vintage lenses, then please, for the love of God, instead watch Alan's excellent photography for enjoyment. Alan's excellent photography for enjoyment, dear me. Carl and his fistful of lenses, or some other chap whose name escapes me, but his channel is called Zenography. They're the real experts in all this, and I'll link to them either above or in the description below, or even both. I'm all for the links, me. But I am merely a third-rate amateur, an imposter even when it comes to lenses of any age, really. I have no idea what X elements in Y groups means, or indeed what extra dispersion glass or whatever coating is applied to a lens will do for your photography. I just like the idea that vintage ones at least are cheap, easily adapted to either my Fujifilm or Nikon cameras, and offer something completely different from modern pin-sharp lenses. I enjoy the fact that they have to be manually operated as well, and if you want to know what aperture you used for a shot, then you gotta write it down using a pencil on a piece of paper. Those are the days, I remember that. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the some very old but reasonably old bits of glass that I have in my possession and enjoy using, whatever their shortcomings or pitfalls. And in my own little OCD way, let's talk about them in order of focal length. First up then is the Clubman 28mm f2.8. Now these are also marketed under the Miranda moniker and were released in the late 1970s / early 1980s. Now my model is an M42 screw mount one and has a bonus feature in the shape of a 1:5 or 0.2 times macro mode. Well worth it. Next up is my Canon 50mm f1.8. This is the more sought after model with the aluminium mounting ring, and this FD mount lens is really beautifully built. What you'd expect from Canon really when the mount and lens were originally released in 1971. Next comes a Nikkor lens, the 55mm f2.8 micro Nikkor. I got an absolute minter from Greys of Westminster. Yes, I could have bought a cheaper copy, but when you're looking at issues like haze, dust or fungus, then a lens that cosmetically will be more full of scratches than up to scratch. I think I'd rather pay extra bit. Released in 1979, this 1:2 magnification, so half life-size image rendering lens, is regarded as one of Nikon's best pieces of glass ever made. Fourth most, that's a word, is my most recent addition, and is the renowned Helios 44-2. Now I haven't lost my mind and got the order wrong, as this is a 58mm f2 lens and not a 44mm as you might expect from the name. The Helios is an old USSR manufactured lens, and mine is one of the Valdai factory made models, the least well built and sought after model, of course. The lens has a preset aperture collar, meaning you can select your chosen aperture and then open the lens right up for focusing before stopping it down for that hard stop preset value. They were made in their hundreds of thousands, these lenses, from 1969 right up until the 1990s, and are famed for their swirly background bokeh, a result of a design defect actually. The lens has been used in a number of Hollywood epics as well, including Dune and Batman Returns. Next up is my only vintage zoom lens, and it's my Nikon 75-150E lens. Now E being a budget or economic line of various lenses introduced in 1979. It's a very simple push-pull zoom with a constant f3.5 aperture throughout the somewhat strange and somewhat limited zoom range. Now I've had this lens for a while now and I love its colour rendition. It's a surprisingly really good lens for little money. It is of course a Nikon f-mount lens and the only one I can use without any form of adapter, well on my D700 that is. Now these E lenses, they were short-lived though, lasting only 5 to 6 years before being sadly discontinued. Least mostly look it up, is my Hanimex 135mm f3.5. Now, when I try to research Hanimex, it seems the only modern equivalent is an Australian bespoke furniture manufacturer. Still, this M42 mount lens is not made of wood and is actually really well constructed. It was initially released in around 1974 and is an ideal portrait lens. Now, in common with the Helios, let's call the whole thing off, it features a preset aperture collar. The lens looks really attractive when wide open, aesthetically, revealing what looks like a massive open aperture, but effectively only f3.5. Still nice to look at, and I am shallow with things like that, so yeah. Anyway, those are the lenses, and here's a little montage of images shot with each of them, all at their native focal length, adapted onto my full frame Nikon Z6. Insert one. I didn't do that.
Out on the top lanes, the glides are moving, all looking for a new place to drive. You sit beside me, so newly charming, sweating dewdrops glisten fresh in your side, and the sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy lined, and the droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. Way down the lane away, living for another day. The 8-bit swarm up in the drifting haze. Swing seagull in the sky towards that hollow western isle. My envied lady holds you fast in her gaze, and the sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy lined, and the droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. And the sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy lined, and the droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. Sing, blue silver.
Right, what do you think of these shots then? Now, I think they offer a more characterful image than modern glass. And which lens do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Now, of course, in order to shoot these lenses on any modern mirrorless camera, an adapter is required, and I have two from a company called, strangely, Folsy. That's Pholsy. That's right. One an M42 to Z mount, and the other a Canon FD mount to Z mount. Now, both seem very, very well made and fit snugly and securely at both lens and camera end. For my Fujis, I have a Bestchoy or Beskoi to mount my FD lens, and a Fotka. Where do they get these names from? For the M42 screw-on jobbies. I think they're all available from K&F Concept as well. They're probably all made in the same factory anyway. Now, I really enjoy using these lenses both for stills and video, and hope to get some more to add to my collection in the future. Now, the main benefits of them is that they are relatively inexpensive, and they offer something with more character than modern ultra sharp glass, even from the lower end, cheaper end of the market. Bit like this channel, I suppose. Right then, until next Saturday, be nice, okay? Ta-ra.